We had a lot of competition.
Right.
We had Travis Martin. He was fantastic. He ended up going to Alabama A&M. Trumie Robinson. I think he went to Middle Georgia. And Terrence Pearson ended up going to, I think he was going to Florida. I can't remember. He went somewhere big. But no, man, a lot of competition in that room. We all competed well, but we all loved each other. And we did the best we could.
Hello and welcome, everyone, and welcome back to Sports Told by Youth. I'm your host, Coach Darius, and today on this Father's Day, we're joined by a very special guest. We're thrilled to welcome a pioneer in youth sports, Alex Benson. Alex is the mastermind behind the country's biggest youth sports media brand, Born to Compete and Deuce Recruiting. But beyond all the accolades, Alex is admired for his integrity, his leadership, and his commitment to youth athletes all over the country. Today, we'll dive into Alex's experiences, exploring the highs and lows of Born to Compete journey, the Born to Compete journey, how Born to Compete came to be, and the valuable lessons he's learned along the way. We also get a glimpse into the future aspirations of Deuce Recruiting and the Born to Compete youth. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our show and our guest, Alex Benson. Alex, welcome, man. How are you?
I tell you what, man, that was a heck of an introduction. I appreciate that.
And Alex, thank you. And that is not even all of it, right? I mean, I had to shorten that up for someone of your stature. Yeah. But before we get started, Alex, something we do here on the show, we always like to go around and say what we're thankful for.
Yes.
This is a special episode. As you noticed, typically there's a kid on set. But with it being Father's Day tomorrow, I thought it would be cool that not only do we interview you, let the kids operate it, but we just talk as fathers. We talk about business. And so this is a special episode, just me and you on today. So I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. Number one, I'm thankful for the opportunity to interview you and not just interview you. You carved out time on your busy schedule to come down here and be a part of what we're doing. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm also thankful for being a father, right? I always tell people, Alex, that for me in the Marines, coaching, and like you, I've been called a lot of things, some cool titles. But they all pale in comparison to being called father, to being called dad. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to be called dad and thankful for you being here. What about you?
Oh, my goodness. A couple of words I can think of. I'm thankful that the parents allow us in their homes.
Yes.
They allow us to work with their kids because they don't have to.
Absolutely.
I'm glad they choose us. And they've been choosing us for almost 17 years now. So that means a lot to me from a business side. From a philanthropist side, I look back and look at the things that we've been able to do and the impacts that we've been able to make and the finances and resources we've been able to bring to youth sports. That means a lot to me. I hang my hat on that. And then also, too, as a father, man, I love being a father. Like I always tell, talking about children, there is nothing better than being a dad.
Yes.
Because I would literally say that to my son yesterday. I'm bringing him home from practice, and we're talking, and he said, "Being a dad is hard, Dad." I was like, I said, "Son, actually, being a dad is really cool." And I said, "There might be some ups, there might be some downs, but I would never change it for the world." You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think those are three things. Yeah.
Well, I share that with you, Alice. And one of the things we always do, man, as you know, in business, we got to thank the sponsors.
Yeah,
we're gonna take a good shot of our Positivity Award. So
there we go.
Positivity Award, a new brand. It's a Black-owned brand. It's here in Atlanta market. So make sure you go check them out. Amazon, Walmart.com. But if you're in the Atlanta area, make sure you check those shelves out and get some of that Positivity Water. Oh,
it
man.
tastes great, too.
Yes.
Especially after being out in the heat all day.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes. Thank you, Positivity Water.
Absolutely. Thank you, Positivity Water. So, Alex, you ready to get into it?
Let's go, man. Let's
go.
All
right, man. So one of the things is, I think, when people hear your name, when they hear Alex Benson, the first thing comes to mind is B2C. I mean, what you've done in your 17-year journey has been remarkable, right?
Thank you.
I think I said it when Hilton was here. It just caught me, and I think I told you this on the phone. The first episodes we shot here in the studio, it was 3 kids that had just been to the gala, which we'll get to later, right?
Okay.
And they all came gleaming in pride with their B2C sweaters on and, fresh off the gala. All they even had their posters with them, right?
Did they really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Because I like to highlight everything about them, right? Yeah. So, but when people think about Alex, B2C comes to mind. Yeah. But I want people to know, if they don't know, the man. Okay. I've done some research, and the team has done some research on you, and I think the man don't think the man is more impressive than the brand.
Thank you.
So I would like to ask some stuff just to get to know you a little bit for those who only think B2C,
Yeah.
but don't think about all the stuff that and not just the stuff you've done in sports, but outside of sports. I think a lot can be gleaned from that. So I would like to learn a little bit about you there. So can we talk about childhood, siblings, where you're from originally?
Yeah.
Just a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. You know what? Like Army brat. And for those that don't know what an Army brat means, that means my father was in the Army and we traveled around a lot. And we ended up in Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
So we ended up in Columbus, Georgia, and son of a military man, also the son of an educator. So when you grow up in a household like that, then you better tighten up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Buckle it on up. And I'm talking about when we cleaned the house, he came out with a white glove. I'm like, yo, is you serious right now? Like, come on. But he meant well, and for me, man, I had my brother and my sister, and I was the youngest one. And so for me, when it comes to sports, and we're just talking about that, they were the standard, right? My brother was, and for those that know, down in Columbus, we have something called All by City. So just think of like it all county. Think of it something like that. And so he was all county with football, with wrestling, MVP of the team, and I mean, he was the guy on. Where there was a lot of really good players back in Kendrick High School back in the day. And then my sister, cheerleading captain. You know what I'm saying?
So the standard's high for you.
The standard's high, man. She's cheerleading captain at like 3.5 GPA. Here I come, bringing up the rear. And, for me, my goals were set high. Even though it was different, I was still, I pursued it, right? And pursued it religiously because I wanted to be the best. And, did the best I could within coming up as a youth and coming up in high school, and then was fortunate enough to play college ball, and, there you go from there.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about the college ball here in a little bit. I would like to ask, growing up, who were some of your biggest role models? Like, who were some people looked up, difference makers in your life? Yeah,
man. So for me, my childhood was a little bit interesting. My father did the best he could, but he had his demons. And that kind of was what it was with drugs and everything like that. And so there became a certain time where he wasn't around. And I looked at my mother and I was just so amazed by what she did. I mean, you're talking about a woman that, we recovered from, I'll just say financial setbacks due to various reasons. Because kids watch this show, so I don't want to get too deep on that part. But financial setbacks to various reasons, and I saw a woman work her tail off and eventually obtain her doctorate degree.
Wow.
While taking care of 3 children.
Which isn't easy.
That ain't easy, buddy. That ain't easy.
Back in those times.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Exactly. You know what I'm trying to say.
There wasn't gig jobs and all this stuff.
No. She made it happen and played piano for the church on Sunday. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yes, I was one of those guys. Wednesday night, your boy was in church.
Bible study.
Sunday night, your boy was in church. You see what I'm saying? But that's just how it was, man. So that's how I grew up with that deep religious background, you know what I'm saying? And I guess morally it guided my path. But also other guys that I looked at, me and my wrestling coach were very close. Even people don't know, I love football, but I love wrestling more. Wow. I really, really did. If I could have went to college for wrestling, I would have did it. Wow. I love wrestling. And, Coach Arsenal was a great, great man. He helped me out a whole lot. And then Coach Troy, it's funny, Coach Troy, talking the other day on Facebook. Coach Troy was my football coach, my position coach. And those two men right there really fed into me and just believed in me because I think they understood that my household has some different challenges to it. And I think once they realized that, they really, really grabbed onto me, man, and just kind of guided me through and helped me out.
Yeah, and shout out to those individuals. I like to call those like villagers, right?
Yeah.
People that, stand in the gap for what young men like me and you've both done in our journey. And we share something in common. Similar to you, my father and my mom, whatever reason, went separate ways. And the strength of my mom. I have so much respect for women in general, but like you, I was in awe at my mom and how she worked and moved to take care of 2 kids. I always tell my kids, you guys are blessed. We used to have to take a warm bath.
Yep.
We had the warm water on the stove and carry a pot back to. And so they look at me. They don't even, they hear me, Alex, but they can't even grasp what I'm saying when I'm like carrying a pot to take a,
Dude, let me tell you something, man. I remember, and I know people are gonna clown me because I don't think they'll understand it, but I'm gonna tell the story anyway because we were in such financial hardships. I remember I think it was going into my senior year in high school, and I'm walking in the house, and my mom, she got tears going on, and I'm like, yo, what's mom crying for? You know what I'm saying? And I know it sounds crazy. I know people are going to laugh at me when they watch this, but I know you'll understand, and probably more of the adults will understand it. We had cable. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I know everybody. I get it. You can laugh. It's totally okay. But it was just, we were overcoming, and she had finally dug us out that hole, and she worked her tail off. That cable, it's not that we had cable. It was just these steps that we were taking that we were finally getting out the hole. Because, bro, we were broke.
Right. I get it.
We were broke, man. But, I was a kid and I had love, so I never knew about it.
That's all that matters.
That's all I tell everybody. Like, when you're a kid and you broke, you really ain't broke.
No.
Like, your parents broke, but you ain't broke. You got love.
And they make sure you get what you need, right? You don't know what you don't have.
Exactly. So, for me, that's kind of what it was for that.
I love that, man. Again, we could talk all day about our moms and our upbringing, and mine, we still talk. She called me right before the show.
I believe it.
And we got to go back. We'll do that at the end of the show. One thing we always do here that I forgot, we pray before every episode. I'm deeply like you.
Yeah.
This doesn't exist without God's love and just His blessing and grace and mercy on me. So we typically do it for every episode. We'll make sure we do that before we end.
Gotcha. It's funny. I pray for every Saturday. I make sure I pray for the kids before they go onto the field every morning. I used to put it up on Facebook, but I don't want to put my stuff upon there. I might do it again. I don't know. And also pray before our tournaments because I just want them to not get hurt.
Yes,
that's it. So go ahead.
And I love that. And maybe me and you offline will talk about that because that's what I'm struggling with, right? As we're approaching this realm of I'm not afraid of who I am and my religious beliefs, but brand and the big business side of it, you got to be careful of what you do. So I'm always mindful of that. But big, and me and you share that same QB in high school, right? Let's fast forward a little bit to your high school experience.
Go ahead.
You play quarterback.
I tell you what, I played a little bit of quarterback, but the main position I played when I transferred over to because I went to Shaw first.
Yep.
When I transferred over to Kendrick High School, I played receiver. They tried to put me at DB. They tried to do it. I know we're going to get to college, but they tried to put me at DB in high school. I'm like, man, stop it. Right. Man, y'all out of y'all mind.
Right.
But no, man, played receiver when I got over to Kendrick High School. That's where I met Coach Troy, and he taught me the art of route running. Because I wasn't that fast then. And he just worked with me, and I could always come open. You know what I'm saying? Even though we ran the ball a lot, but we had a lot of competition.
Right.
We had Travis Martin. He was fantastic. He ended up going to Alabama A&M. Trumy Robinson, I think he went to Middle Georgia, and Terrence Pearson ended up going to, I think he was going to Florida. I can't remember. He went somewhere big. But no, man, a lot of competition in that room. We all competed well, but we all loved each other, and we did the best we could.
Absolutely. I love that you say route runner. I think now, me and Hilton talks about this, and I think Deuce, one of the things I always admired about him.
Technician.
Yeah, Baby Jerry Rice is what I call him. Like, he's gotten his speed back again now, but the kid just runs routes and always gets open. So when you say a route runner, that's who comes to mind. And I think there's so much training going on, but I think kids are forgetting how to get open. Yeah. So much dancing and
all that dancing, man.
Right.
You can go on with all that because when it comes to the heat of the game, you need to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. When that quarterback backs up, he don't care about what you done did. Are you where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there? Because 9 times out of 10, the quarterback's looking at whatever his read is, whatever the coach tells him his progression is, how he's supposed to go through it. And so some quarterbacks, and I don't know all of them, but I'll just go for some schemes. Some schemes, he's literally looking at that man.
Yes.
If he's going to sit, if he's going to bail, whatever it's supposed to be. And so when he goes to rip it, you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. Forget all that dancing, man. Just be where you're supposed to be. And with Hilton, with Deuce, he's smooth with his routes, right? He barely has any wasted steps, but every step is explosive if he wants to, right? And then when he comes out, his final break, his final cut, it's boom where it needs to be. And any quarterback loves that. That's why when you saw he first got a chance to play at was it Wake Forest?
Yep.
First got a chance to play at Wake Forest. as soon as he gets in, they're throwing the ball.
Because he's on spot. He's on time.
Exactly.
So as we continue on, Coach just left.
Yeah.
Fort Valley State alum.
Yeah. Cap outside.
Yes, cap outside.
Yes, sir. Yo.
Yeah, right. Got to represent. You attend Fort Valley State as well.
I did.
Could you talk about one of the things that you're into, recruiting, right?
Yeah.
Your recruiting process. How was the jump for you? And just kind of talk about the experience a little bit.
Oh, my goodness, man. So for me, I'm sitting there thinking about it right now. Just I remember Coach Troy. Coach Troy had to take care of me. He had to, because for me, my grades weren't where they're supposed to be. Unfortunately, I didn't understand that. I was just enjoying being popular, having a great time, doing a lot of things I probably shouldn't have been doing, and playing some ball. You know what I'm saying? And I lived for Friday nights. Lived for it. And long story short, ended up getting a couple of calls and going to Fort Valley State to finish out my football career there, and had a great time, man. Coach Barry, I think Coach Barry is a coach. I forgot where he's at right now. We were just talking. He was at Benedictine. He's somewhere else right now. He's doing really, really well. But fantastic coach. And we had Coach Schoolfield, who was Coach Schoolfield. If you're looking at this, I apologize for being a butt, man. But he was hard on me. And then you don't realize at those times they're only hard on you because they think you're talented.
Yes, they see something in you.
Yeah. I've never seen nobody waste their breath on somebody.
No,
they can't
never.
Get out of.
They go over there.
Yeah. And so those are things that for me, I learned, and it was funny enough because I actually learned the recruiting process through wrestling, not through football.
Wow.
Because my coach, a lot of offers weren't being thrown out for wrestling, and so my coach made me sit down and send a letter and send my highlight tape. I know, right? Send my highlight tape to those colleges. And that's what I did. And Coach Arsenal would sit me down in class, and I go through it and send that stuff out. And that's how I first started getting my, offers and attention and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is pretty easy. And I liked it.
Right.
And I started helping my teammates, different things like that. And it was just something that became a passion of mine as time went on. So, but go ahead.
No, I love it, man. And if I remember correctly, you get a degree in, what is your major in?
My major in marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Do you do anything with that marketing degree? I'm a marketer. Now. I'm in marketing now, and never knew I wanted to be a marketer, but I'm in marketing. So your marketing degree.
Yeah. So got my marketing degree. Ended up getting most improved in my class because I wasn't doing no work at the beginning. But I ended up getting most improved, and I think this is something kids probably need to hear. I'm going into my last year, and a lot of success. We had a really good team. Derek Winbush at running back. Deron Croson was at running back. Q Thrasher was on the other side, and I was going to be coming back as well. And spring practice destroyed my shoulder.
Wow.
Going to my last year, destroyed my shoulder, and went into this deep funk. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget my dad, because he had got past his demons, and him and my mama got back together, and he had that's the first time I ever had a real grown up conversation.
Right.
And my dad said, "Look, son, I love you, but football is not who you are." You know what I'm saying? He said, at the end of the day, you're going to be a grown man, and you got to take care of your family. And there's a lot of things you're going to want to do and live like that. You need to tighten up and get it right. He's an army man.
Right.
He's an army man, so they believe in giving it to you
Absolutely,
straight.
yes.
You with the Marines. Right. I saw that.
Right.
Yeah. They believe in giving it to you straight. Hey, here's the situation. You're going to get. But what I like about that, coming from the Army standpoint, I should say the Armed Forces, they believe in giving it to you straight and telling you you're going to get it done.
Yes.
Because you have no choice. So get it done. And with him, I said, okay. He said, what do we need to do? And I said, got to get my grades up. So I got my grades up, made nice with the teachers. And I love sports, so I found out about a sports agency, got involved with that, and I fell in love with the business side of sports. I really, really did. And, once that happened, I had a couple of odd jobs here and there, but once I got into this space of doing Born to Compete, it was no looking back for me. I was like, man, I think I found my calling. I'm ecstatic. I love it.
Safe to say you found your calling.
I
mean, 17 years later, one of the biggest names in youth sports, you've definitely found your calling, which is a perfect transition for us. I would like to first I'll just ask, since we're on Born to Compete, how did the name come about? How did you settle on Born to Compete?
Didn't name it. Kaden's mother named it. I don't even want to take credit for it.
Right, okay.
'Cause I know she's going to see it. So, no, I was...
line.
Oh, yeah. I got no shame in that.
Right.
Yeah. We were talking about names, and I can't remember. I think I said Born to Win. I think I said that. And she was like, well, not everybody is born to win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She said, you weren't born to win. Like, think about people, different situations. But one thing you can do is compete.
Absolutely.
And, there came the name Born to Compete. And I was like, yo, that's it.
That's it.
Everybody in our group at the time, which I know we'll get into, but everybody in the group at the time was like, yo, that's it. And we just rolled with it.
Wow, that's powerful. Shout out to her for getting it right.
Right?
For getting it right. Yeah. What inspired you though, right? You talked about it. Your deep passion, and we share that as well for sports, marketing, business. But really, what inspired you to get behind the youth and really get behind Born to Compete?
Yeah, man. So let's see. Let's take you all the way back here. All right. So this is before Champ was born.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going around the different places. And it's a group of us, big group of us at the time. And we're going around different places, and we're like, hey, we have this idea. We want to do like this recording for games. That's what it started off as. So we're doing that. We're going. And I think it was the city of Atlanta told us, yes, we can cover. I was like, all right, we got a chance. Then everybody in the city of Atlanta got fired.
Wow.
Everybody. So we had to start all over. And it's funny enough, we get a couple of connections, and then Clayton County was the first one to say yes. Or excuse me, the second one to say yes, but the first one we actually did. And so we did Clayton County, but then we started saying, okay, hey, I think we got something here. So we started like doing like more like an ESPN style instead of just recording games. Because we were just recording games, sell them. You know what I'm saying? Make some money. And once we started doing that, we're like, oh, wow. Parents are paying attention to this. More people are starting to show up to the game. I think we got something here. So we kept pushing it. So, year goes by, a lot more people start falling off, which is understandable because we weren't making no money like that. I get it. And then I had this idea. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to go and do youth football rankings. I'm like, I'm seeing enough teams. I think I can do this. And this is 16 years ago. Champ was on the way, right? Excuse me, he was there now. And I had to figure this thing out.
Absolutely.
Right? I had to make some money. And I had to get eyes on it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell the whole story. I'm going to bring some more people involved in this. So we do the rankings. I wake up the next day. The website's down because so many people hit the website. And I'm like, oh, my God, I got something.
Right.
The next day, I get a call from Frank Ski. I didn't really know who Frank Ski was. Keep it real with you, keep it a buck with you, because I didn't grow up in Atlanta.
Right,
I didn't
absolutely.
know who the man was. We had did his event the year before. I was like, okay,
Didn't realize how big he was though.
I had no clue.
In that time, he was the man here in Atlanta.
Oh, he was huge.
Yes,
a million listeners a day.
Wow,
he was huge.
Was he on V103 then?
He was on V103. Okay, V103. And so, I'm doing I never forget. I'm doing a Whitewater game, high school game. And I get a call randomly, like unknown number. Pick it up. Hey, what's up? Says, Alex, what's up? I'm like, who is this? It's Frank. Frank who? It's Frank Ski. I'm like, oh, okay, what's happening, man? He said, look, I'm going to rock with you. I said, all right. And he just hung the phone up. I was like, what is this? What is this, bro? And so, time goes by, the year goes by, and it's getting harder and harder because financially, we're not there, right? It's a small business, and we're trying to grow it. And it's right around Christmas time. Right around Thanksgiving time. Mm-hmm. And I just remember that, I'll never forget because I remember being broke. Like having no money in the account. And I ain't talking about no money, I was talking negative. Negative money in the account.
I've been there. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I had negative money in the account. And I remember I was about to tell Caden's mother, I was about to say, hey, I think we got to go ahead and we need to figure something else out. Because she was fine in her career. And I was like, I think I might have to pivot here. I wake up that next morning.
So hold on, before you go, you're that close to, at that moment.
Yeah.
you're thinking about putting the camera down and
camera's going down,
going back to work somewhere. I can get something more solid. Yeah.
I mean, I got a kid.
Right.
I got to take care of my son. And man, it's the craziest thing, dog. I wake up that morning and I got like 100-something missed phone calls and text messages. And I'm like, what's this? And so, I open my phone up and it says congratulations from a lot of my friends. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, what are they talking about? And then I'll never forget Tia. He's popular. He has this Atlantic Greek picnic, all that kind of stuff. And he calls me, one of my frat brothers. He says, yo, I heard your commercial on the air. What air? Who commercial? Literally, I turn the radio on, and at that particular time, I hear the commercial. And Frank had made a commercial for me.
Because he has the resources in studio.
He made a commercial for me, combining with the Youth Bowl. And all of a sudden, it started blowing up.
Wow.
And he didn't have to do it. I don't know why he did it to this day. He's never told me. You know what I'm saying? And we remain great friends to this day. But he just said, I saw something in you. And I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, he did that. And once he did that, man, the numbers started going up. And then obviously once we learned marketing and how to properly do advertising, how proper advertising with sponsors, we were able to make that move and do more with that. And he let me come on the radio show once a week, talk about youth football and high school football. And, we were able to go from there.
Awesome story, right? Look at God, right?
I know, right?
Right before right. Look at want to do it.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. You asked about the passion. What brought the passion about? So we got there and we started working it, right? And I started recognizing like, oh my God, I got a voice now. My voice matters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, sometimes you don't know if you're the right person. But I was like, I play ball. I have a child, so I understand being a parent, and I feel like where I was grounded in. And again, everybody's different, but for me, I was grounded in faith in the church. And so I knew how I wanted to handle taking care of the kids and parents. And so you start doing that and it becomes more of a calling. It becomes more of a passion because you want to see the kids do well. And I want to see them go off and become what I know they can be and maximize whoever they are, right? And as I started seeing that, I started being more conscious about what I was doing, who I was talking to, who I was around. Because, our first big one obviously was Trevor, but nobody knew Trevor at 9 years old that he was going to be that. But what we did is identified and said, okay, let's put him in front of some colleges. And I believed in my heart how good he was and what he can do. And he goes off and becomes this amazing person as far as on the football field. And you do that with hundreds and hundreds of kids. And it's not just about what they did on sports, but they can come back and they work for me sometimes. They do internships at the station. Man, we do a lot with them because, again, we're here to maximize them.
Yes.
And there's nothing that makes me feel better than, they always say, your face card, right? Your history, your cachet, so to speak. It's amazing when I can call up, let's say Trayvon, who we just had today, his camp. I can call up Trayvon and say, Trey, hey, I need you at my gala. Come through. Whereas I'm sure he would probably charge somebody for that, but he'll come for free. You know what I'm saying? Talk with the kids and everything like that. And everybody that we call, we never have a problem with because we did it the right way, And
salute to you, man. I was gonna I'll ask you now. How often or when's the last time you sat back and look at the gravity or the magnitude of what Born to Compete? And what I love is you keep saying we. I'm curious to know who that we is right now.
Yeah.
I think for anybody watching out there, it's important. And you and I both know this as businessmen, how important the team is. You can't do everything by yourself. It's hard to find good people to trust. But when's the last time you sit back and look at, it's year 17.
Yeah.
You said it's been hundreds. And, in the research I saw, Kirby said, I think 1 year, 14 of the 22 starters, were part of the Born to Compete family. Like, when's the last time you really sat back and looked at what you've accomplished, what you guys have accomplished? And I say you because you're the mastermind behind it.
Yeah. I did it on stage this year at the gala. something that meant a lot to me was getting a proclamation, because I worked in politics before, so
Yes.
I understood the gravity of it. So for the Senate, not just a person, for
Right.
the Senate, led by Teddy down in Columbus, I want to say his name, for them to recognize you is crazy, and to make your proclamation, it moved me so much, because here I am, right? Coach Kirby Smart just came off stage.
Yep.
Trayvon is waiting to go. He's sitting there so he gets a chance to watch what's happening. My family's there. I get to share it with all the B2C family. It just, the moment and the gravity of it. And then what made it really cool is the guy that was reading it, Brooks Austin. I remember him years ago wanting to just get a chance.
Right.
And I gave him a chance. I gave him a couple tips here and there. And for him to be reading it, and Coach Downs to be there. And Coach Downs, his son won our first B2C award. He was 6 with Caleb.
Right.
And now he works with us. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I was taking it all in and sitting there watching it. And some dust flew in the room. And I got a little misty eye. But I think that's when I took it in. And I just remember sitting at home, holding my proclamation. And like I said, all those important people on stage. Of course, my son was right there as well. And my mother in the front, she's recording it. And it meant the world to me, man. It meant the world to me, because it's something that I wanted to share with all these people.
Yes.
Because no matter if I've helped you or not, no matter if we've just covered you or if we've taken you on college trips or whatever, right? It's all of us, because this is how this works. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I have the next big thing with Julian Lewis if Trevor didn't come first.
Right.
And we had to get it right. We couldn't lie to these coaches, not high school, but these college coaches, right? Caleb Downs, people don't believe in Casey Barner, who we have right now, if we don't get it right with Caleb Downs.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? That's how this works. And, I get passionate about it, because I'm just thinking about it. And we're so blessed that, we're able to, right now, God has allowed me to call a coach up, or a coach called me. Alex, do you like him or love him? 2 questions. I love him. I'll call you back. Offer. Boom. Right then. That's how it goes. I was on the phone. I don't know if I can say this. I don't want to mess anybody with NCAA violations. But a coach had called me when there was a quarterback and a lineman. We just laid down in the Clayton County area. And he said, Alex, you like him or love him? And one of them I known for a long time. And then I say the names. With Justin Murphy, known him for a long time since he was a little kid. And then with Kelsey, I kind of met him right around 12. And he blossomed to an amazing player. But I told the coach, offer him right now. And all of a sudden I see it on social media pop up. And for that, I don't need you to tag me on anything like that. I'm fine. My life is great.
Right.
But to see those kids happy, and I know I just had the conversation with the coach, and I know who they called, meant the world to me, because I know they're headed into something that is passionate for them, that means a lot to them, and that's my joy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's powerful, Alex. And I think for most people, you have an idea about recruiting and how some of this stuff works, but like I said, that face card
means
in business.
Yeah.
When your face card, your name mean integrity, trust, when that means something, it's invaluable. Like I said, you get in rooms that the average people couldn't get into. So I think for kids out there watching and listening right now, to move with integrity, your word means something, and be an expert, be excellent in your craft, right? If you're going to say you scouting kids, then mean it and say it. And I think that's awesome to hear you talk about that.
And another thing, you have to tell them, man, don't be afraid to let go.
Yes.
How we grew up, I think we had our different challenges of who we wanted to have around us and not.
Right.
Because sometimes it's a good time. Baby.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's okay. But you have to have, as our parents told us back in the day, you have to have your friends here, right? And your people that you can have over here, right? And I'm gonna say something. I hope it doesn't rub anybody the wrong way. Please don't cancel me. But you have a girl that you date, and you have a girl that you bring home to mama.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Know the difference.
Exactly. And there's a difference, and you can't be afraid to let those people go for whatever reason they are hindering your dream, your future, whatever. Let go, cut bait, move forward, stay focused. But that's something y'all teach in the armed forces.
Yes,
as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. You gotta be. If you ain't with me, you're against me.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's plain. And we've seen. I mean, you've seen sports stores over the years where they have the wrong people with them.
Yeah,
and it's cost them a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of things. Can we go back to the we?
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm a big team guy. From my coaching years, the military. I love team. I'm not a guy that says I much.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Over the last maybe 2-3 years, I'm learning to say me. And me, and only because I think sometimes people forget your expertise, right? People forget what you bring to the table because people like me and you're always pushing others first, right? But there's a lot about me that you have to understand. But who's the we that you speak of, Alex? I mean, I'm sure that team has evolved over 17 years.
Yeah.
But who's the we now in your team when you consider team?
Yeah, man. I didn't ask her if I could say her name, so I'll just say Kayla's mother. We started the business together when we first started. She has been instrumental and monumental when it comes to stuff like that. Now, obviously, she kind of got out of the business, but she still helps every now and again. And then we have some amazing contractors that we use for content creators. I also want to give a shout out to, and I got to, Coach Gary Downs. I think he's amazing.
Yes.
He has changed my life because we were able to add somebody, and I just believe in this. You have to add somebody that's smarter than you. You have to. You have to. And your ego can't be so big that you can't let his star shine. And so one thing I did when we were having this conversation and we were trying to bring him in from the college ranks, and it's a lot of negotiation that goes through that kind of stuff. And once we got to something that was comfortable, I remember having a conversation with my team, and I said, I want to put him out there. When it comes to Deuce Recruiting, Born to Compete, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to take a step back for a couple of years and let him be the face. And he's been amazing because what he knows is stuff that I don't know. Number one, obviously played in college. I played in college, that's fine. But where he really shines is he played in the league, so he has an understanding of that. But here we go. High school coach. He actually was a youth coach at one time. College coach. He's actually offered people. You see what I'm saying? He actually had a job where it depended on him getting it right. He offered people. His children, amazing how he's raised them. I always want to include his daughter because she was a big-time soccer player before she got had an injury. But you have Josh that's with the Colts rookie record. You have Caleb. Everybody, Caleb was the talk of sports.
Absolutely, yes.
for that time during Christmas.
And he deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved it. And so when I sit back and watch him and how he carries himself and how he's let faith guide him and how he's in the Word and everything like that, and how every time I'm around him and when we're talking to people, I don't know if he's saying the right thing all the time, but he says what has to be said. And for that, I'm always grateful for him. We're having a talk today about just camps, and he was giving me his advice and all that kind of stuff, so it was good. But I want to throw some more names out there. Austin Butler, he's fantastic. And then I want to give some names out there at the station, man. Rick Garney. Rick has been amazing at the station. He's allowed us to do so much. And, a parent can have an 8-year-old and be like, yo, I saw my kid on NBC 11 Live. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then we bring guys into the station and all that kind of stuff, just like coming to here, man. You come in this place right here, and it's really cool. You can see it and be like, oh, man, look at the setup and everything like that. And it's the same thing when they get to come into the station, like, oh, man, look at this and look at that. And they know that, hey, your hard work has been recognized. For today, I'm going to celebrate you, and let's be about you. So yeah.
Yeah, and I love the whole team, and I love Coach Downs. I mean, since you've brought him on air, the things you said as someone who's sat back and observed people for a living, it exudes. I met him at the Grayson game. He was doing the Milton Grayson game walking. Let me not say I met him, but I was standing with Charles Lewis, a couple other guys, and he just shook But he came up and shook hands, just like I was,
They do all this,
right? Yep. And
you go see all 5 fingers.
and he's writing his notes. He's doing his scouting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he just seems like an amazing person, and you got it right.
Yeah.
You don't need me to tell you that, but you know you got it right with him.
Oh, and QB Marcus. I'm sorry, QB.
Yes.
He'll get on me if I don't say his name. QB Marcus and Steve. So I want to make sure I say those two.
Good deal. Shout out to all those guys at Born to Compete. Alex, could you talk about, obviously I know the struggle of when you made the pivot, you had to make a decision to keep it going, right? Keep the lights on.
Yeah.
But now the lights are on. Now you're a household name. I mean, the state of Georgia and outside of it, but here, there's nothing bigger than Born to Compete. What are some of the struggles with that, right? There's with success, there comes more, we'll use the word haters, like there's not, and you're not doing it right, I guess, to say if you don't have a few haters, but how do you deal with some of the naysayers and the negativity? Because that's much more positivity, but how do you deal with some of that?
Grounded in my faith. And you know what I like? It's going to sound a little arrogant, but I'm going to just say it anyway because safe space, right? I like when sometimes a parent, they might listen to other people, which is understandable because I don't talk a lot.
Right.
I know
you don't. You're very calculated when you speak. Right?
Yeah, I know that these days. But they listen to other people. It might be other companies that say just the craziest thing about us and all kind of stuff like that. And then they get to their 8th grade year and they see eyes start to open.
Yes.
And then I say, hey, come on this trip with me. Then they come on a college trip and they see how they get treated when they go to college trips. And then I tell them, hey, your son is different. It's time for you to start acting different as a parent. And I have a very real conversation with them. And I say, now you're in my world now. And now we want to see your son obtain whatever he's going to become. Because whatever you've been dealing with before, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Might be some foolishness, might not be. But right now, you got 4 years. We can't play no games. This ain't no joke. You get one chance at this.
That's it.
And either you get it right as a parent or you're going to see your child, 35 years old, sitting on your couch, wondering, looking at you all crazy, like with their name on the orange juice in the refrigerator. And you're like, man, where did I go wrong? Because I've been in that household.
Right.
I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it with my own brother, who I love. And he was, again, one of the best players in Columbus, Georgia, like almost ever. Like he was the real deal. And he made a couple of mistakes. And my mom just didn't know. She didn't know what to do. She always said that. She just didn't know what to do. And, unfortunately, that led for a life for him where he made some mistakes and had to go away for a while. And, and now he's back on his feet doing a great thing, great family man, the whole nine. But he had to go through that first, where he, if he had the right advice, had the right just direction, hey, go here, do this, do that, then it might have been different for him.
Yeah. One decision could have changed.
Yes.
Could have changed it.
Yes.
College tours. Are you guys still doing them? I keep up with the camps.
Yeah.
Are you still doing the college tours? And
yeah. So what we're going to do is going to bring them back next year.
Got it.
The thing for us was I wasn't going to do them unless I could provide for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so we did those bus trips to Arkansas, Florida, everywhere. I paid for that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I told people, just pay $20, and we took the money to tip the bus driver. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. And so that's what I wanted to make sure we do, because when we put those kids on the bus, I don't want you to have no excuse.
Right.
No excuse. Alex, I ain't got the money. Alex, I'm tired. Alex, I can't drive there. Get them to the bus.
We got it.
Get them to the bus. Mama, you can go back home and go sleep. Daddy, if you don't want to come, I get it. Get them to the bus. I'll take care of it. I got you. So we'll start that back up next year, because we finally put the funds aside, talk with some good different sponsors, so we'll have that taken care of with the kids for next year. But other than that, what we've been doing now is we just identify the schools they want to go to, and then we'll go ahead and go up there together. Wow. So that's what we've been doing right now. So imagine, 40 people driving up to, let's say, where did we go recently? Let's keep it local.
Yeah.
Let's say University of Georgia. 40 cars head up there, and we recommend. I don't recommend. That's not the right word to say, but we say, hey, we're coming. Here's who we're bringing, and we let those kids showcase their ability, and they do their thing.
Wow. And that's awesome to come in with your brand. You already, it's like I tell people, it's like talking to the hiring manager.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of putting your application in Indeed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're talking to hiring.
Yeah.
You're talking decision makers,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I think people miss that because it's a lot of kids being recruited.
There's a lot of kids being recruited, and what you have to understand is these coaches have so much coming at them that, you know, sometimes you have to have a voice you can trust.
Yes.
And even if I say I love the player, they might not offer the player, but at least when you step on campus, hey, how you doing? I know who you are.
Yes.
Alex told me about you. Now, when they're walking around, they're keeping an eye on you a little bit, and you just got to give them something. I always tell them, I say, guys, you got to flash. You got to flash somehow, some way. And if they flash, I guarantee they're walking out with something.
You're walking out with
they're
something.
leaving with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge, and that's so cool. And kind of in that vein, when you hear Kirby Smart say 14 of 22, when you get somebody like that to come to your gala, obviously I know what it says about you and the work you're doing and what he must think about you. This is the hottest coach in college football right now. You know, fresh off. Alex, I was telling somebody, I think Mark Johnson, he had sent me a picture of Lil Mark and at his camp recently.
Okay.
And my business mind always comes in. Yeah. To see Kirby sit there and take a picture with every one of those kids, and you can see like it wasn't just like transactional. It looked very personal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Kirby's playing chess where some of these guys, they're not even on his level. Yeah. But to hear him say 14 of 22 to endorse you like that, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think it means a couple of things. I think it means that we know how to identify talent and we know how to put it in front of the right people, right? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's for that type of situation, that's what it takes. And I think, too, when he called me the best in the business and that the fact that he keeps coming back means the world to me. And we have some great conversations. We were at the Dome, as a matter of fact, for the championship. And we talked for probably about 20, 30 minutes about different things. And I was kind of leaning on him for some advice or whatever. And I think for him, it's him being genuine. I think that's where that's where Kirby wins.
Right. Yes.
That's where he wins. He's so genuine, and he has somehow in the world of NIL, which go get your money. I always tell everybody, get your money. But in the world of NIL, he still built a family, and that's hard to do. That's very, very hard to do.
Yes, very hard to do.
And he does it. He does it well. He's honest. He'll have a very honest conversation with you. He won't jerk you around. And the one thing about him, if he gives you his word, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. So for me, that relationship has been great. And also too, I've learned from him. I've learned how to be a better leader. I've learned how to, I would say, conduct myself at the right time around the right people. And I've always was genuine, so that's not an issue. But just to forecast, and those things helped out a whole lot. Also, too, I want to throw this in there. Joe Wyndon, who's at Georgia State now, and Dale McGee, who's at Georgia State as well. Very helpful.
I love what they're doing. They look like they have a renewed emphasis on this area.
They do. And Dale, man, Dale played with my brother.
Yep.
So I was a little brother walking around there, you know what I'm saying? And for him to embrace me and help me when I first started to kind of get on campuses and different things like that with the kids, it was amazing. And then Joe helped me take it to another level. He was with National Prep Sports, just learn the game. So by the time I came through and by the time I got to this point, I had Joe Wyndon teach me. I had Kirby give me enough information. Like I said, not everything. Enough that he allowed me to hear. Dale give me some great conversations.
Invaluable.
And then also, too, one thing that I did not put in there with Deion Sanders, obviously we used to do his stuff when he was doing the Hall of Fame stuff and everything like that. When that was going on, he was letting me see behind the scenes and took me on the Hall of Fame trip and had some great conversations with me. And when he gave me the formula, I was able to put all this together. And that's how you get the result that you have now.
Yeah, and I think for kids listening out there, parents listening, there's a business side of you that this isn't just about, I mean, obviously, yes, the giving is natural. Yeah. The care you have for these kids is natural, but also the foresight to take care of the business side of it.
You have to.
Rubbing shoulders with the right people.
Yes.
Having integrity in your name in the right places, I think is huge. So if you're watching this, it's very important to be upright, integrity, stay, all that stuff matters. Since we're kind of close to it, the B2C Gala, man. Again, Alex, we talked about it earlier, man. Those kids, I mean, they gleam. Yeah. They getting suited. I had K2 in here talking about his outfit.
Oh, he had all white on.
Yeah, all white. I love that kid too. Yeah. I mean, he's just a natural too. Yeah. He was talking about it was inspired by LeBron James draft night. Love K2, man. He's a natural. But just to hear them talk about how much that means to them, to the gala. Can you talk about where did that come from? Because this ain't just a regular banquet, right?
Yeah,
we think in the football awards banquet. Could you talk about where you start at and how you get to hosting it, where you're hosting it now?
All right, Franksky. So when I was younger, Frank had something that he still has now called the wine tasting event.
Yes.
And he was taking kids to the Guatemalas. I hope I'm saying that right. Frank, don't get me for this one, okay? And I was inspired by that because I said, what can I do, right? Like, what's my lane? Let me do my thing. And I said, you know what? I want to do a big awards event. That's actually where the college trips came from too, because I was like, man, he's taking them to Guapalos, whatever, island, whatever. I said, man, what can I do within the sports world that'd be cool, that would move, and that's something that means something to me? And I thought college trips. Okay. So back to the gala. I told NBC what I wanted to do, and Sam Crenshaw was there, and Jenna Hurd, and amazing people. And they said, okay, we're going to do it on air for you, Alex. I said, okay, cool. I'm like, wow, this is great.
Is big, right?
This is great. I shaved everything. I ain't got no money to go to the bar, so I had to do it myself, And the hairline was starting to leave at that time, so I was like, put this hat on here. And so I did it, and some of our first award winners obviously included Caleb Downs, who was 6 years old, and Stoudemire is at Troy right now, killing it. Rico Fry, who started at Bowling Green as a freshman. So anyway, with all that being said, we did it there, and they let me do it. I'm like, okay, cool. And so then I was like, you know what? I want to try something big. And so we reached out to Park Tavern in Piedmont, and kind of knew some people here and there, and they were like, cool, we'll give you the room that oversees the city. So they gave us that one. And that was the year Chris Rodriguez won. And, anyway, so he I'm just throwing out names people remember. Chris Rodriguez, that Realist George was our Tournament Award winner who played really good at Missouri. So that was that. And then we moved on some more. And I said, okay, all right, what else can we do? Then we moved to the DeFore Center. DeFore Center Art Gallery, Kirby's first year. Yep. I said, I hooked up with the right people. I said, can we get him to come? He had just got hired. He was like, okay, cool, I'll pull up. We do it. He pulls up. Big thing, right?
Huge thing.
I got about 300 people jammed in this thing, this DeFore Center. They're like, sir, we got to open up another room or what? I was like, oh, Lord, people try before. I don't know if I got it. And it was so funny. I got to say this. Before we opened up the other room, I had to go count the money real quick. Made from the door, because we didn't make no money. We had to count the money we made from the door. They were like, yeah, it's cool. I was like, all right, well, just get this to them and open up the other room and let more people come in. All right, cool. So we had that. Then we went to the church. And the church is probably about 700, 800 people, right? I'm like, man, I don't know if we can feel this. There's a lot of people. Right. And, man, that was God working, man. It was one of them things that said, do it. And I did it, and we filled it. And we had Georgia Tech head coach come, Jeff, when he was still the head coach, and the guys, oh, golly, I know he's going to kill me. Swag surfing.
Lord, yes. I love the song, right?
Oh my God.
I can't think of the name.
Man, don't kill me, man.
I can't think of the name. Yes. We'll edit it and put it in there, right?
Thank you. But they performed swag surfing for me. And the next year we did it at the church, it had grown so much that the fire department got called on us. Wow. People all in the stands. And I was like, oh my God, I think we've outgrown it. Did College Football Hall of Fame next year. We outgrew that. And then I was just blessed enough to, and we still did it during COVID, right? Then I was blessed enough to get the Georgia Aquarium. And I was like, man.
Amazing venue. Some people haven't been to the aquarium, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I just remember, I remember when they told me how much it cost to turn the lights on. I said, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. But you know I did it, man. I did this. I did the College Football Hall of Fame. I did all these locations now that I do because I remember being a kid and I remember not having. And can you imagine being 6, 7, 8 years old, going to the College Football Hall of Fame? Kirby's on the big screen speaking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have that, man.
No, I didn't either.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that, and I wasn't going to be able to have it, to keep it real with you.
There was no gala, Alex. It was a banquet.
There wasn't no gala.
Right, we was putting banquets together.
It was a banquet. And then when the aquarium came up, I told them what I wanted to do, and, you know, we got everything worked out. And I remember the first year I did it, I saw a video of a kid looking at one of the beluga whales.
I remember seeing that video.
And I was like, yo, I hear you, God. We're doing the right thing. And so this year, we started late, but I didn't care because I was like, you know what? Let the kid. It was an accident in front of the aquarium anyway.
Always tough to get around anyway. Parking, just.
So I was like, you know what? Let the kids look at the stuff, look at the beluga whales. And for those who don't know, when you get one of these big venues, they had 2 viewing areas. So they had the beluga whales over here, and they have the big viewing room here within the room.
Right.
And so just let the kids look, man. Because I know for me, you know, bro, I didn't go to the aquarium until I was grown. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to a Falcons game until I was grown. I didn't get to see all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so we're letting in close to, I say about 500 people in for free.
Wow. So
that's the coaches, the team mom, and the players. If you're a finalist, you get in free, right? And I want them to see that, you know, you're being celebrated this way in the best capacity we could possibly do it because you've given so much. And how can I show you that if you do the right things, that I can put you in rooms and that your gifts can put you in places that your eyes and you can never see, your ears have never heard. Like, these things can happen, man, if you do it the right way. And that's where the college trips came from. Now I'm going a little tangent here.
No,
that's where the college trip come from because I don't let nobody get on that bus if your grades ain't right.
Right.
What are you here for? Go study or something. You know what I'm saying? Because I want them to understand that with this hard work you do, with everything you do, if you do it the right way, you can be here.
Yes.
And there's plenty of people I've let come to the gala that, you know, I remember Mom called me and said, Alex, you know, please let my son come. You know, is it okay? Come on me, come. You know what I'm saying? Because I want them to see and I want them to experience it. When I want them to see Champ Bailey on stage.
Yes.
Hall of Famer from Georgia. I want them to see Trayvon Walker on stage. I want them to see, my goodness, Julian Lewis on stage. Tyler Atkinson, number 1 player in the state right now. Of course, Julian's number 1 player in the state as well, 25 and 26. Deuce Gerald's, Zealous Hicks, number 1 safety. Names. I'm giving you everybody to look at you so you can look at and say, I want to be him. How do I get there? Whatever you're doing, I'm getting there. And then to bring Kirby on stage is, I know most of these kids, because you're talking about the 1% are going to go to the University of Georgia.
Right, the one,
right? The 1% are going to go to Clemson, Ohio State, Michigan. Let me put them in front of you now. You might never meet them. You might never have a conversation with them.
I mean, you've talked about that. There are more me and yous than there are Tyler and Juju's.
For real. And that, hey, look, we being so real about this. Yeah. But I want you to hear his voice. I want you to hear his method because you need to hear how that top 1% that succeeded in our industry that we love, how they go about it and what they think and what they identify. So that's why I'm so passionate about, you know, number 1, putting that event together. Number 2, bringing those people together. And like even this year, we had the founders of Gridiron Caps there. And the gridiron caps has changed the industry.
Industry.
Everybody has to wear the gridiron cap now. The NFL is mandated.
Yep.
Mandated. These people here locally in Georgia, great people, Aaron and her family. And you need to hear what they are saying so you can understand, okay, I get it.
Right.
I get it. This is here. This is obtainable. And you know what? Who knows? One day you might reach out and say, you might graduate college and say, Alex, I want to get into whatever. Marketing. Let's say marketing. Cool. Let me call Aaron and the family.
Yep.
They got a spot available for you. Let's go. So you can come out of college with an opportunity, making some money. So it ain't got to be, I don't know how yours was, but my journey out of college was a rough road. I guess
so, that was mine.
Yeah. So they can take the road, hopefully less travel.
Yes.
And you know, get your little car, get your apartment, start off life. You know what I'm saying, the right way. So again, that's why all that stuff matters to me.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this too. You know, when I was doing the research, I don't think there's nothing big. I don't think there's a state.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised nobody's tried to duplicate.
They've tried.
They've tried.
They've called.
They've called. Right. Okay. I would like to say, this is. I mean, because everything's on the internet now. You can find stuff, but the way you do it, it's truly a gala. I think the name is fitting, and it's a gala, right?
Yeah.
And so shout out to you, man.
And how about that, right? And I forget to, because we need to say this because people need to hear this. Making them dress up.
Yes. Important.
Yes. I need the suit. I need everybody looking good.
Yes.
Hey, I need it. If you coming up on that stage,
I definitely need it.
Yeah, I need it. You gotta look how you're supposed to look. So we want to teach them. Hey, man, show up, expect success, look like success, and go get it.
I love it, man. So much bigger than football, and I think it's so easy to get caught up in the rankings, and
it is.
And that's why I tell people, now that I'm older and more experienced, I haven't. And on this show, Alex, like I told you, I've told you what my design was. The hope it's kids here.
Yeah.
But I still stay on because there's things people need to hear. I don't want them to miss, right?
Yes.
And like you said, there's so much more to that. Dressing up, learn how to sit up in the audience, learn how to conduct yourself.
There you go.
You know, doing so much more things are coming out of that. What is your vantage point on the state of youth football today? What do you think? I mean, from when you started to now, and we'll discuss this when I give you my thoughts, but what do you think about where the state of youth football is?
I think that they were too afraid to fail. I see so many teams not wanting to play other teams. I'm gonna say this in a couple of ways here. So, the 26 class, class 26.
Yep.
The reason they're so popular because they all played against each other, whether they won the best team or not. I always bring it back to my little Parkview team. I put them in a championship series. Go, compete, see where you're at. You might not be on the best team.
Right.
That's life. That's life. Figure it out. Let's go to work. So those things are important. And sometimes, people want to say, well, I just don't have the kids to do it. How about we just don't have the coach to do it?
Right.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about coach becoming a better coach. Parents doing more, right? Have you done everything? Have you done everything in your power as a parent so you can maximize who this kid is going to be, whether it's on the football field, whether it's in the classroom, but obviously we're talking about the football field right now. Have you maximized it? Coach, have you maximized saying, okay, hey, here we might not be good here, but let's focus on this right here, and we might be good here,
right.
And let's keep developing, and we'll catch them. We'll catch them. So my celebration might not be at the championship series. It won't. It probably won't. But there's a coach that used to coach Sandy Creek. His celebration was on signing day when he had almost 16 kids signed.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Khalid Hunter, Coach Hunter. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's where your celebration got to be. But you have to figure that out as a grown man. What trophy am I going to hold up?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Because if we're just recruiting, that's fine. I get it. Everybody wants to have talented players.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, going on that point, state of youth sports, I think parents are sacrificing development for winning.
I agree.
Because they want to go to the hottest team, which nothing is wrong with that. Here's the deal. Your child needs to play. And people can sell you all this practice and all that kind of stuff like this. Listen to me. Everybody that watches this, everybody that listens to this. If your child is not playing and put in situations when the lights are on, you have no idea what you got.
Alex, it's complete. Even for me as a coach, I'm different at practice. Even as much as I try to emulate a game situation, you can't.
You can't.
You can't. It's a game situation. It's a game situation.
Yeah. What's gonna teach your kid 3rd and 10? It's a big drive. I need 10 yards.
Right.
Excuse me. I need 11. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? It's 4th and 1. What you gonna do? You be getting your butt kicked all game. What you gonna do? Like, these are things you don't know until it's game time. Right. Until that score matters.
Yep.
That's the one thing about practice you cannot do. You cannot put that score up there, because in practice, score is a score. Losing team might run. It's whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But mom and dad cheering, cheerleaders over there,
uniforms,
all
that matters.
Good.
Right.
You've been talking about it
all
week long.
You prayed before the game.
You came out to the banner.
Yes.
All these kind of things.
Yes.
And you will see the young men that are going to show up. One of the teams I was so proud of this year. Now, I told the coach that they played against, Ahmad Carroll, they call him Batman. They had to play Lawrenceville in the championship. And they won. I get that. But I was so proud of the Lawrenceville team because they stood up. You know, they came out there, they scored a touchdown, they got called back. They didn't complain. The kid came right back and scored. That kid busted like a 99-yard or something. And to do that on Voodoo is almost amazing, right? It's almost unreal, actually unheard of. But they competed. They did the best they could. They came up short. I get it. The score got a little lopsided. Cool, no problem. But when you look down the road at those kids and what those parents are instilling, they're better off, Coach.
Yes. They gained a lot that day.
They gained a lot that day. And you'll see them. And it might not be on the football field. It might be in life and job. Let's say one of them loses their job. It's cool. I've been in situations like this before. I know how to either go down to that grocery store and provide for my family.
Yep.
And be the bagger, cashier, whatever, till I get on my feet, till I can get right and do everything else that I need to do. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's worrying me. When we do these things and we miss these steps, we're not building the men with those backbones that you're going to need in life, man.
Because as we know, it's coming. And it's ugly and hard.
It's coming. It's coming. And guess what? I can't run to the super team. Mama can't help you. Daddy can't help you. You're going to have to figure this out, and you have to be put in an uncomfortable situation to fail. It's funny because Coach Staley, I hope I'm saying her name right. She's with South Carolina.
Yeah, Dawn. Yep.
Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley. She said perfectly what I say to those parents all the time at the gala, and what I say to them on a college trip. I love you enough to let you fail.
Yes.
I told my son that. I love you enough to let you fail because I have to let you figure it out. But I love you enough to let you fail, but I'm here.
Right.
I'm not going to let you fall off, right? So I'm not going to let you fall off that cliff. I'm going to let you fall down. And I'm going to tell you, you got to get up. And you got to figure this out. And I'm going to give you the tools. And I'm going to say, here's this, here's that, here's this. But the parents, the coaches, everybody, I think that's the big thing. Everybody's afraid to fail, and they're afraid to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And they're afraid to go to, for lack of better words, you're afraid to go to war. Yes. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get out here in life. You're going to have bills due. You're going to have a family to take care of. You have all these things you got to do. And Georgia Power want their money.
Do they? They don't care about none of that.
They don't care about nothing. You got it. They don't care about your excuse.
Nothing.
All these things are going to have to happen. And as a man, you are going to have to figure this out. And you need to put them in situations where they can fail and they can figure this out. And I think football, to me, sports in general, is one of the great teachers of men.
I agree.
Coach Harbaugh said it years and years ago. It's one of the few things left in life because the consequences aren't so severe. You don't truly lose, right? But you can learn within the loss and still bounce back.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. And we're getting towards the end, Alex, so I appreciate your time. You know how much this means to me.
I told you I got nothing but time. Hope you got enough tape.
Oh, we do. I got plenty of storage.
Yeah.
If I gave you a wand and you're president of youth football for a day,
Yeah.
what would be one of your first actions? I specifically wrote this for you because
Wow, that was a good one.
Because you've seen it. You've seen it change.
Yeah.
You've seen it. And I just would like to know what would you change in youth sports?
So, contrary to belief, I actually like the travel football stuff.
I do too.
Yeah, I really do. I like the best playing the best if that's where you're at. I think the one would be, I would love to see, and it's not going to happen, but I would love to see people playing kind of somewhat within their neighborhood.
Yes.
You still have some out there like that. GMSA is like that,
Yep.
which you know about. You guys were actually like that with the Giants because pretty much everybody was over from that area, the Alpharetta area. GFL is like that. So there's something to be said about, team pride, community pride, all those kind of different things. And, just the support that goes into that. I understand the travel method. The only thing that bothers me about the travel is it's hard to develop because you have so much talent. When I went to a lot of these practices, they're just running plays. And you're not at that college level yet, right? So I know there are some colleges that just run plays. You know what I'm saying? I get it. There's some high schools that just, when they get in the season, they just run plays. And I understand because you only got 2 hours. You get 3 days, 2 hours, 6 hours total, right? That's usually what your youth team has. They have to get in. One day you got your defense, one day you got your offense, and one day you got walkthrough and special teams.
Yep.
So I understand. I do. I just wish that there was a way, because I see a lot of those kids do the travel thing. It's almost like how AAU was, right? Everybody wanted an AAU team, and they weren't AAU ready. Right? So I see a lot of that stuff happen, and I wish that there was a way to identify and say, okay, hey, these teams, y'all are the elite of the elite. We're going to put you right here, okay? And mom and daddy, that the expectation is they're running plays in practice. They're here to play high-level games. That's what it is, and let the transparency be there.
Be there, yes.
Right? Let's stop all this. Hey, I'm developing. I'm doing this. No, you're an elite team, and you're bringing in players. Cool. Here you go. Right here, right? Now, I think for everybody else, and you don't got to call it travel and rec. I don't need all that. Just call it B, A, and B.
A and B, right? That's okay.
That's enough. You know what I'm saying? And for these players over here, we are developing. We are coming to work every single day. And those players might change from year to year. It's all good. But I think that's probably, if I'm going to go to it, I want the transparency to happen in youth sports. I would love to see that. I would love to see transparency, and you can find out who's really coaching, who's really developing. Because just because you got an all-star team and you're winning a lot doesn't mean you're developing. Let's stop that.
Right.
Let's not even go there.
Right.
Because I can tell you high school coaches, they be like, yeah, these kids come from there and they don't know this and that and they don't know nothing.
Don't know holes, right? Yeah, don't know holes or route trees.
They're super talented and they've ran plays, but they don't understand concepts. They don't understand blocking schemes. Like, they don't understand these things. They don't understand you step with the same foot.
Right.
Obviously, when you try to double team and get to the next, they don't understand those things. So I would love to see that transparency happen for the parents. And then also, too, for them to understand that this is a journey. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint.
It's not.
Please just enjoy where you are. Work as hard as you can. Enjoy where you are and let it be. And don't think it's something else, because it's not. Nobody's coming out here offering a 10-year-old, especially now, with transfer portal. They sure enough ain't doing it. And understand that, this is a marathon, and take your time. Take your time and chill out. Stop all that fighting.
Oh man, that's a whole nother episode. Yeah. I heard a parent there to flag football, and I was just like, man, come on.
Come on, man.
Flag. Are we that serious right now?
Yeah. I know you're mad, but I think the fighting and the smoking. The reason I don't say the drinking, because I can't be unrealistic. Right. But the smoking bothers me because the kids smell it.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, yo, I get it. I get it. But the smoking, it bothers me because the kids are smelling it. You're tearing their little baby lungs. So just, do that wherever, not there.
And that's something you've been able to do. Even with the B2C championship series, you've still been able to get parks all over the city. You conduct this thing. It's a logistical.
It's a lot.
Right. It's a lot. Where now some of these, I noticed, they can have tournaments because the fields and the police don't even want to deal with some of these guys because of the smoke and the fighting and the school. No, if it ain't probably you.
Yeah. They ain't playing.
You don't see a whole lot of, or if they are, they're on the cow pasture.
Yeah,
and I'm just being real.
That's true. That's true.
Being on the cow pasture, but no, thank you for that, Alex. I know what you bring to youth football. I'm just curious to see, what your thoughts were on that. Alex, this show, and I discussed this with you. The premise of my show, and our show, is to talk about public speaking, interview skills. As I told you, I have a background in interview skills. I wrote curriculum on public speaking. And so my goal was here to teach young athletes the tenets of just being comfortable. Yeah. So when they get that invite to your station, NBC, they're comfortable. At least they know how to position themselves. Yeah. How important is presentation, interview skills, social media, understanding your presence as an interviewer? How important is that in your opinion?
Huge. I got a player right now that is probably one of. I don't want to talk about him because people gonna know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as I say it. Here's the thing: when you speak with a college coach, eyes, handshake, how you conduct yourself, because what you have to understand is this is their job.
Yes,
and they're about to go into a room, and they're going to fight for you to offer you a scholarship. That's what they're going to do. And here's what, it's not even done yet. Because when they offer you, let's say, okay, that's how this works. I'm going to just say receiver. That's what I played. So let's say receiver, right? They're going to offer, let's say they need to sign 3. They're going to offer 10. Now, out of those 10 they offer, that means 7 won't get it, all right? Now, they're going to shoot a little bit high, so there's probably 2 they're going to lose, all right? Now, there's still 3, so we're 2, they were down to 8 now, right? 8 guys, 3 spots. Now, how do we separate ourselves? Okay, now we're going to choose game dice, somebody injuries, different things going to happen. Let's say we're down to 4 guys. 4 guys for 3 spots. So let's just say 5. There's going to be one guy say, Coach, I'm ready to commit right now. And that coach is going to say, hold up, because he's still waiting on this other guy. That's a very tough conversation. No. We just wait it out. But you offer me, Coach. But you offer me. Right. Yeah, I know, but hold on. Because they're trying to see this other guy. So you have to understand you're always in competition, no matter what. The way you carry yourself, the way you play on the field, everything you are in competition, because this coach has to be 1,000,000% sure that you are his guy, that he's going to invest in financially, because a scholarship is a financial investment. I'm going to invest in you financially. Here you go. And now that they're paying money, oh man, I need it. I got to have return on my investment.
Absolutely.
Day one. So if you're not acting the part, conducting yourself accordingly, and not getting it on the field, we got to get you out of here.
Yeah.
You gone that year. Hey, I think you should probably get in the transfer portal. We don't really have a position here for you. And that's how those conversations go. And I've had a couple of kids that's come to me crying, Alex, coach told me to get in the transfer portal. Okay. Let's do the next step. So I say all that to say you're always in competition. And then when you walk into a room, certain rooms, you need to walk in as an alpha personality. You have to, because if I'm a coach and I'm investing in you, I think you might not have that mentality to come in this locker room. You might get swallowed up by these other guys, these other dogs I got out here. So can you be that guy, step in the room, especially for my quarterbacks? Can you be that guy? Yes, sir, no, sir, come in the room, strong voice, excuse me, I did it wrong myself. Strong voice, being able to articulate yourself on what, hey, coach, here's here. And you have to command the entire offense. They have to hear your voice in the huddle. I know we don't have as many huddles no more because things have changed, but you have to be that guy. You have to be. And so again, all that is very important, the way you conduct yourself and the way you speak and the way you present. And again, because now they're paying money.
Yes.
And they'll start paying, I think it's this year? Is this year or next year?
Next year, I think.
I got to ask Coach Downs. He knows. But now they're starting to pay the money from the TV contracts. Oh, buddy. And I got a certain amount of money I got to work with? This ain't no joke no more.
No.
Yeah, this ain't no joke no more. You got to be everything. And I mean everything I need before I give you money out of the allotted money I am given.
Right.
So that's kind of what you're saying matters. What you're saying matters. And I always tell everybody, look at your star players. Every star player you've ever seen, don't they always conduct themselves well?
Yes.
They always speak well. When you hear them talk, think about your greatest. Your greatest of the great. LeBron James.
Yep.
Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant. Mamba mentality. Tom Brady. Peyton Manning. Let's even go to Vic. Cam Newton, how he still talks.
Yes.
People joke about Cam, but let me tell you something. Cam won a Heisman, Rookie of the Year, and won an MVP and took his team to the Super Bowl. You can joke all you want to. Trust me.
Cam's sharp.
Extremely.
Right.
Extremely sharp.
Yes.
Extremely. So I'm saying that to say that it has to be that way, and you have to walk in the room like you own that thing, and you're prepared, you study, you've done your research, and you know what to do, and you know where you're at. Hold your head up high, look the coach in the eye, speak properly, shake his hand, and you go from there.
I couldn't agree more. And like you said, I've seen some top athletes now, and I'm like,
you better be real talented.
bro, you better be,
Yeah.
Come see me. I got something here for you.
You better be one-on-one.
Yes. Because we'll look past that one-on-one.
Yeah.
You've taken another part of the business. You talked about Coach Downs. Can we talk about Deuce Recruiting a little bit?
Yeah, man.
Born to compete, huge success, still growing, and we'll talk about that, the future of it.
Yeah.
But what is Deuce Recruiting? Like, I think I know, but to the viewers out there, if I'm I got a woodwork kid here, hopefully he turns out to be, well, he will turn out to be something else, put in the atmosphere. Yeah. Deuce Recruiting.
Yeah.
What is it going to do for him?
So here's what we had to do. We were growing so big that our content was overlapping. And not everybody wants to see high school kids.
Absolutely.
And not everybody wants to see youth players. So we had to separate it. And with Deuce Recruiting, what it does is we focus on freshmen and sophomores. That is our sweet spot. That is where we're going to stay. That is what we're doing from a business standpoint. And so who do we bring in that can identify talent and that can go to a coach, even though I can say, yes, coach, I love him, and they'll take my word for it. But you know who they'll really listen to? One of their brothers. One of their brothers that was in the coaching ranks.
Yes.
Somebody that knows what it's like to have
immediate credibility.
Immediate credibility. They have a family at home. Maybe wife's not working. Child's in a private school. Ain't too many $150,000 jobs on Indeed, so you can do what you want to do for a living.
Right.
And so, bring in Coach Downs, and he brings instant credibility. When we first did I think we did our first rankings last year for the young guys, for the high school, rising high school freshmen. And literally, we had multiple colleges reach out to us. Alex, we want that list.
Wow.
We want that list. We got to have it. And we're like, wow, we're there.
This is it. We hit
that quickly.
That's it. Yes.
That quickly. And so, I mean, even look at, it was funny because me and him went back and forth on a kid. Teddy Gerard. Fantastic player. We ranked him as our number one quarterback. I think he's ranked like number 11, 12, somewhere around there. We ranked him as our number one quarterback. Offers. Like that. Because people trust what we say, and that's how it works. So that's what Deuce Recruiting is. Takes care of the rankings, the camps, all that kind of stuff for their older kids, right? Freshmen, sophomores, we want to focus on them. And then, of course, Born to Compete still focuses on the middle school kids. And also, too, now what we're doing is saying B2C youth.
I saw that. I was going to ask the distinction.
Yes. So B2C youth will focus on those kids from 5 and under through, I think it's, let's say 5 and under through 5th grade. So I think that's, 10U? Yeah, 5U through 10U. Let's focus on them here so we can just celebrate them.
Yes.
Let's just celebrate them. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate them and give them something to keep their eyes on the future. Mom, you want to come over to Born to Compete? Here's what it is. Mom, you want to see Deuce Recruiting? Here's what it is. But now we have steps to take you in so nothing is missed. And that's important to me because now, again, with the way youth sports is, it's all about acquire talent, win. Okay, cool. No problem. So what we can do is say, within these steps of youth sports, hey, are you getting your training? You eating properly? there's other things we want message-wise we want to get to our youth pairs that we can specifically talk about to them now and focus on that, and they can go ahead and take their information and do it as what they please.
I love it, man. And again, the business side, the genius. Y'all have covered everything. There's all bases covered, right? You know, and I love the distinction. So there's no, because like you said, me as a parent now, my son's moved to high school.
Yeah.
Youth probably isn't as
you'll never look at it again.
Right. You know, from now I got this, so I'll kind of keep, you know, but from just a general respect, I'm going with the kids that he's been with. I'm 28, so I love that you guys got it covered, and I love the nutrition piece. We're heading down Friday. We leave Thursday night. We're going to LSU to meet Dr. Frakes. We're going to interview him. He's the head nutritionist for LSU.
Okay,
just important. Stuff like that. You know, just want to bring that message, right? Because I think now we know about performance, but what fuels performance? And so we're going to sit down and talk to him. I think it's pretty cool. And he's a doctor of nutrition, so he's very into the science and stuff like that of nutrition.
It's so important because something Coach Downs told me about a player a long time ago. He said, if the player was eating properly, then he would have maxed out what he could have been, right, as far as height-wise, weight-wise.
Wow.
And so that the eating is important, and telling the parents, again, what have you done? Are you doing your job? Are you doing your part? So let's make sure the kids are eating properly. Let's make sure they're getting their sleep. Let's make sure their work is done, because one thing you can know is a clouded mind doesn't succeed. It's too much going on. So if my work is done, I'm fed, I'm doing everything I can from feeding my child's getting good rest, then, and I understand parents want their child to have success on Saturdays, right?
Yep.
Then this is maximizing what the child can be, right? I can't guarantee you wins and losses, but I can guarantee you at the end of the day as a parent, you can say, hey, I did the best I could.
Yes.
I did my part, and that's okay.
Perfect. Alex, as we kind of close here, what's next for Born to Compete? And now we got the youth. Where do you see it 5 years from now? We coming up on the 3 years. It'll be 20th anniversary.
Oh,
which
my God.
That gala probably going to be crazy. Man, if you start, the 20th anniversary's got to be big.
We're planning now for it. Right. Planning now for it.
Where do you see yourself? Where we see ourselves in let's just say year 20?
Yeah, man. Well, first off, we're in a good spot.
Absolutely.
We got some great people involved. They believe in what we're doing, and I think now it's just about, we're comfortable here in Georgia. We're comfortable here in the Southeast, but it's about spreading our spreading our message nationwide and even globally now. The conversations that we've had, I think within the next 3 years, you'll see B2C globally. I really do believe that. Everything that we've been talking about and doing nationwide, that's fine, but globally, and also being involved in other sports that you have to remember, baseball already figured it out from a little level. Like Perfect Game is amazing.
It's amazing.
Right? They're a blueprint. Soccer has figured it out with MLS and how they get down in the younger age groups and everything like that. So there's so much more to reach this game of football to spread, and then also too in other sports that we can be involved in, and making sure that the parents have the information they need, the athletes have the information they need. At the end of the day, as I always say, maximizing that person for whatever it is they're going to be, and let's not miss the boat, right? Let's not say, hey, we put all our energy in track,
right,
and the kid can't get a job when he comes out of college, right? Like, let's make sure we are covering everything. So when you look back and say, hey man, that kid won a B2C award back in the day, or that kid's involved somehow in the B2C family, you can look at him as a 35-year-old man and see that he's a success in life. Now, I know everybody's going to be subjective with success is. I get all that. But let's just say he's a productive citizen. He's taking care of his family, and he's doing what he needs to do, and they are living a comfortable life.
Wow.
And I think that is, to me, my next calling with the business, because I want the kids. Again, I've seen a couple times where we've had some kids graduate and they haven't. Life's been tough for them.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't want that. I want them to graduate, step into a job, and maximize who they're going to be. So years down the road, we can say, hey, there this kid goes. And they can come back with a smile on their face, and life is good.
Alex, I love that niche. I think it's needed.
Yeah.
It's warm. I mean, we've seen enough. You've seen enough of those kids that you talk about that with the right guidance, things could be financially, again, because we're all not going to get the big contract.
No.
But just they still have talents and skills that could be leveraged if they had the right guidance. So I think that's going to be a power move for the brand. Getting you out of here on this.
Okay.
Can we talk Caden? Can we talk Champ?
Yeah.
It's Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Creekside coming up. What is it like being a father in the stands now and having a quarterback son, which is always tough? How is his development coming? And can you talk about him a little bit?
Yeah. I have to say a lot of credit goes to Coach Dixon first, the head guy. Coach Trent has been amazing. Coach B's quarterback coach. Coach Rodney is quarterback coach. I know I'm a different flavor when it comes to football because I know.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So you can't
pull the wood. You can't tell me anything.
Yeah, you can't tell me. and see, me, I'm the type of person, I know you're probably this way too. If you tell me my marching orders, I'm going to do it. However, I need to believe you.
Yes.
I need to believe you. I need to believe in you. You know what I'm saying? And with Coach Dixon, I got a chance to watch Coach Dixon last year. And I watched him, I shouldn't say last year, over this time, grow his team. He's done such an amazing job. But he did it not with glitz and glamour. And, of course, you have a couple of transfers here and there. Caden's a transfer, so I get all that. But really, hard work. And I love somebody that loves hard work.
Yes.
Don't skip no steps. We talked about that earlier. I love hard work. So he has that. Now, here comes the thing, right? Now we have hard work. Can you identify where we're weak at as a player? Now, you have identified it. Now, are you just going to sit there and yell? Because that don't do nothing for nobody.
Nothing.
Or can you say, hey, like I'll just talk about Coach Trent, for example. You know what I'm saying? That's the one we deal with mostly. Coach Trent said there was a couple things about Caden's game that was weak, that if we improve it, it'll become a strength. We got with Coach B's. We identified the exact things because we'd already identified it, right? So now let's work on it. What are the drills, Coach? Because see, now we're going to see if you can coach or not.
Right.
What are the drills? What are all these things? We did all that, and now we have development, right? Identify problem. Let's fix the problem. Now that all leads to development. And for me, I get excited about that type of stuff. And so they were able to do that with my son. And of course, a lot of their players that they have. And he looks great. The Langston Hughes game, he threw for about 150. But it was, obviously it's spring game.
Right.
Spring game. That was what it was. That was spring game. So that was what it was. But I think they were able to say, okay, we got somebody that we know can play in the game. And then this first 7-on-7, he came out there. He did okay. But they kept working with him. And then they went to Georgia Tech. First game against Buford. Got a little rough. Cool, no problem. They're a team. They're locked in. They're a family. That's what Coach Dixon's built. They reeled off 7 straight.
Wow.
Made it to the championship game and beat some teams that were legit. They beat a Westlake team, very talented. They beat a Houston County team in a back and forth. They beat a North Oconee team who I think is phenomenal. They got a kid over there, Harrison Faulkner, quarterback. He's really doggone good. And he was able to go back and forth with a lot of those guys. Of course, with his teammates doing a great job. And I want to give a shout out to his receivers. Phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Doing a great job in the play calling. And they made it to the championship game. Took a loss to New Orleans. It happened, right? Got tail whooped.
Yep.
But they made it there. And then I told my son, I said, now you got your team to the championship. I said, now you know what it takes. And I said, Coach Dixon got to go. He got to go knee deep. Yeah, I know he's saying no Diddy and Pauls and all that kind of stuff, but please just roll with me.
Absolutely.
He got to go foot to tail because now we know how good you can
be. Yes.
Now there's no letting up.
No.
Because I know you can be here now. So now I gotta push it even more because now let's say Creekside. We've made to a championship game, whether it was 7-on-7 or obviously fall in pads and everything like that. Now they know there's that extra step. There's that extra level you got to go to get what you want to get. And what I like even more about that is in life, you want to make 100,000.
Right.
Hey. You want to make $200,000 and buy the house you want to have?
Yep.
And take your family on vacations you want to? It's going to take more. Everything, as hard as you work for just to get there, it's going to take even more to hit that next level.
Yes.
And you can do it, but you just have to understand there's another level. Man, I made it here. I'm happy. I feel good. We made it to the Super Bowl. But man, don't you want to put the ring on? Don't you want the parade?
Yes.
You know, and for to get that takes another level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We sales are going good. We're probably number one sales in Georgia. Golly, what I feel like to be number one in the nation. What can I buy my wife? What can I buy my kids?
Level.
You know, where can I take my family to?
Right.
But that's why these are all the things I tell him as he, experiences life. And I think he understands that. And again, that's what means the most to me, that he's starting to see. And that's what makes me happy. And then also too, I was talking to one of his coaches, and this probably made me the most happiest. He's actually, with me and him played together in high school. He coaches at the school at Creekside. He says, I asked him, I said, how's Caden doing for real? Like, don't
sugarcoat me out.
Yeah, tell me straight up, man. I mean, we've known each other forever. He says, Alex, man, conduct's amazing. He leads, but he also knows when to walk away from different things. He's smart. Team likes him, and he tries to engage himself with his teammates.
Right.
He listens to his coach, and he can take, he's getting better at taking hard coaching. He didn't take it at first, but he's getting better at taking hard coaching because he understands that these coaches ain't got time.
No.
Like, they don't have a feeder program down there. So they got 4 years. I got to rip this Band-Aid off, and I love you, so we got to go. We got to go. I want to work with you. You're my guy. So I got to rip this Band-Aid off and say, hey, here's what we need to do. Here's what we need to work with. Let's go. So those are the things that I'm really, really proud of him.
Man,
that's what he's done.
That's awesome to see. I'm wishing you guys, him and you guys, nothing but the best this year. I'll be following Creekside because it ain't far from me. So.
I know, right?
It ain't far from me.
Yeah,
so I'll definitely be following you guys.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, man, we're going to close.
Okay.
I can't thank you enough, right?
Yeah.
For someone like you who's been in this business, this media business for as long as you have, to think enough of us to come sit with me and have this conversation, especially on Father's Day weekend, means the world to me. I'm hoping we can build a relationship together where whatever we can help out each other out, we can do it. I love where the mind is and the vision is, so definitely want to be a part of it. Any parting shots? We always let people parting shots to the viewers.
My parting shot is, I always tell people, believe in yourself.
Yes.
Bet on yourself, but don't be unrealistic. Understand that, I just talked about it earlier, understand that there are levels to everything, and it's going to take more than everything you got. You're going to have to kill your old self. And I know, people, please, I hope you understand what I'm saying. You're going to have to leave your old self behind and find your new self and be okay with that.
Right.
And don't be afraid to take those steps. Something that was told to me when I was a young person, and I know I put my base in spiritual. Even Jesus could walk on water, but we would never known if he never got out the boat.
Wow.
So I live by that. I live by that. That quote means a lot to me when I heard that. So believe in yourself, but understand what you're getting yourself into. Understand what you're going to have to do to go through it.
Yes.
There you go.
I don't have to say we typically leave and tell everybody how to find you, but there's no need to do that because born to compete, we know how to follow you. But we do owe ourselves this.
Okay.
Again, we typically pray before we start.
Let's do it, man.
But we got to pray before we close.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, dear Heavenly Father, just thank you for this amazing opportunity. Thank you for this weekend on Father's Day that I get to sit with an amazing father of not just his own kids, but of many who he's mentored and helped out through this process, Lord God. I thank you for this interview that we were able just to chat and conversation flowed and thoughts and lessons were given. Lord God, I pray that he has a great weekend, a Father's Day weekend, and he stays blessed and stays healthy. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Man, appreciate you, brother. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.